Commander Samantha Finch adjusted the ceremonial insignia on her uniform for the third time in as many minutes. The polished silver disc, bearing Earth's symbol of intertwined olive branches, felt heavier than usual against her chest. In 3 hours, humanity would make its first official contact with the Vorlax Collective, a species that had observed Earth for decades, but only recently deemed humans ready for formal diplomatic relations. Samantha had spent 18 months preparing for this moment, studying Vorlax physiology, mastering their complex tonal language, and even learning to modulate her human scent to be less offensive to their sensitive, olfactory receptors. What she hadn't prepared for was the sound currently echoing through Nexus Outpost's primary docking bay. A series of sharp, rhythmic barks that made her own primal fear centers tingle with recognition. Her companion, Rexy, a Belgian Malinois with military training, had picked up on her nervous energy and was expressing his concern in the only way he knew how. "Status report," Samantha snapped into her comm unit, her voice steady despite the tension coiling in her stomach. "Commander Finch," came the reply from Docking Control Officer Chris, his voice tight with professional concern. "The Vorlax delegation has arrived as scheduled. Ambassador Corlin and his entourage are preparing to disembark. Your vessel has been cleared for docking." Samantha straightened her posture, the movement practiced and precise. "Patch me through to the Vorlax flagship." The comm channel crackled briefly before a series of deep, resonant tones filled her earpiece. Vorlax greeting protocol. Samantha responded with equal precision, her voice modulated to match the required tonal frequencies. This was the moment humanity had waited for, a chance to join the galactic community after centuries of isolation. "Commander Finch," Ambassador Corlin's voice came through, translated into flawless English with only a hint of mechanical distortion. "We welcome you to Nexus Outpost. Your credentials have been verified. Please proceed with docking protocols." "Thank you, Ambassador," Samantha replied, her hand resting on Rexy's head to calm him. "We'll be docking shortly. Just giving my partner here a moment to settle." "Your partner?" Corlin's tone carried unmistakable confusion. Samantha smiled. "He's been with me through 3 tours of duty. Wouldn't be the same without him." The comm channel went silent for a moment before Corlin responded. "Understood. We look forward to meeting your companion." Samantha cut the connection and turned to Rexy. "Ready, boy?" she asked, scratching behind his ears. The Malinois responded with a soft whine and a thump of his tail against the deck plating. The docking sequence proceeded without incident, the gentle shudder of connection barely noticeable through the ship's inertial dampeners. As the airlocks cycled, Samantha took one last deep breath, centering herself for what would undoubtedly be the most important diplomatic engagement of her career. "Remember," she whispered to Rexy, "be professional. No jumping, no barking, and absolutely no sniffing Ambassador Corlin's legs. Understood?" Rexy responded with a soft woof that sounded suspiciously like agreement. The airlock hissed open, revealing Nexus Outpost's primary docking bay, a vast chamber designed to accommodate vessels of all sizes and atmospheric requirements. At the far end stood Ambassador Corlin, surrounded by his delegation. The Vorlax were tall, slender beings with 4 arms and skin that shimmered with iridescent patterns reflecting their emotional state. Corlin's skin currently displayed a calm blue-green pattern, though Samantha noted the subtle flicker of yellow at the edges, a sign of cautious optimism. "Commander Finch," Corlin greeted, his voice deep and resonant even through the translation device. "Welcome to Nexus Outpost. We have awaited this moment with great anticipation." "Thank you, Ambassador," Samantha replied, stepping fully onto the station with Rexy at her side. "Humanity is honored to join the galactic community." Corlin's gaze immediately locked onto Rexy, his iridescent patterns shifting to a deep purple of confusion. "This is your companion?" Samantha nodded. "This is Rexy. He's my tactical partner and closest friend." Corlin took a cautious step forward, his 4 eyes studying Rexy intensely. "Fascinating. What species is he?" "A canine. Specifically, a Belgian Malinois. He's part of a long line of working dogs humans have partnered with for thousands of years." Corlin's skin flushed a bright orange, a Vorlax expression of shock. You partner with predators? Samantha smiled, understanding dawning. To you, perhaps. To us, he's family. A protector, a companion, and a valued member of our society. Before Corlin could respond, Docking Control Officer Chris's voice came through Samantha's comm. Commander, we have a situation. Long-range sensors are detecting multiple unidentified vessels approaching at high speed. They're not broadcasting any identification codes. Samantha's expression hardened. How many? At least a dozen, Commander, all bearing the markings of the Kalar raiders. Corlin's skin darkened to a deep crimson. The Kalar? Here. That's impossible. They haven't been sighted near civilized space in decades. Samantha activated her comm. All hands, battle stations. This is not a drill. Prepare for hostile engagement. Rexy immediately shifted into tactical mode, his ears forward, muscles tense, eyes scanning for potential threats. Samantha placed a reassuring hand on his head. Easy, boy. Not yet. Corlin stepped closer, his voice low. Commander, with all due respect, perhaps you and your companion should retreat to a secure location. The Kalar are vicious warriors. They show no mercy. Samantha met his gaze steadily. Ambassador, with all due respect, I've faced the Kalar before, and I don't fight alone. As if on cue, Rexy let out a low growl, his attention fixed on the main viewport. Through the reinforced glass, Samantha could see the distinctive jagged shapes of Kalar raiders emerging from hyperspace, their weapons already powering up. Chris, Samantha ordered, activate defensive protocols. Seal all external bulkheads, and get me a status on our fighter complement. Fighters are scrambled, Commander, Chris replied, but we're outnumbered 3-1. Then we'll have to be smarter than them, Samantha said, her mind racing through tactical options. Ambassador, I suggest we move to the command center. We need to coordinate our defense. Corlin nodded, his skin shifting to a focused indigo. This way. As they moved through the station's corridors, Samantha noticed how the Vorlax personnel seemed to give Rexy a wide berth, their skin patterns flickering with uncertainty. She couldn't blame them. Rexy was a working-line Malinois, bred for protection and security, with an imposing presence that could unsettle even experienced soldiers. The command center was a hive of activity, with Vorlax officers working at their stations, their forearms allowing them to operate multiple controls simultaneously. Samantha took her place beside Corlin at the central command console, Rexy settling into a watchful position at her feet. Status report, Corlin ordered. Kalar vessels are closing fast, a Vorlax officer reported. They're broadcasting demands for unconditional surrender and immediate handover of all station resources. Samantha studied the tactical display. They're approaching in standard raid formation. 3 groups of 4 vessels each, classic pincer maneuver. Corlin turned to her. You're familiar with Kalar tactics. My unit encountered them during the Clear Dawn campaign, Samantha explained. They're predictable once you understand their patterns. They always lead with their strongest vessels, expecting their targets to focus on those while the others flank. Then we should counter with... Samantha held up a hand. No. We let them think we're falling for it. Have our fighters engage the lead vessels as expected, but keep our main weapons trained on the flanking groups. When the Kalar commit to their maneuver, we hit them where they're weakest. Corlin's skin flickered with what Samantha recognized as surprise. That's unorthodox, but it might work. It will work, Samantha said with confidence. I've seen it succeed before. As the battle commenced, Samantha noticed Rexy's behavior changing. His ears were perked forward, his entire body tense with alertness. He let out a soft whine and nudged her leg with his nose. What is it, boy? Samantha asked, crouching beside him. Rexy responded with another whine and looked toward the station's main power conduit. Chris, Samantha ordered into her comm, run a diagnostic on the primary power conduit. Rexy thinks there's a problem. There was a brief pause before Chris's voice returned. Commander, you're right. There's a fluctuation in the conduit that could cause a cascade failure if the station takes heavy weapons fire. Seal off that section and reroute power through the secondary conduits, Samantha ordered. Do it now. As the crew worked to implement her orders, Corlin watched with growing interest. Your companion, he detected a power fluctuation? Samantha nodded. Canines have incredible senses. Rexy was trained to detect structural weaknesses and potential hazards. He saved my life more times than I can count. Corlin's skin shifted to a thoughtful violet. Fascinating. On Vorlax Prime we consider such creatures too dangerous to work alongside. Because they're predators? Samantha asked with a knowing smile. We don't see it that way. We see their natural abilities as assets to be guided, not threats to be eliminated. The battle raged on the main display, with Vorlax fighters engaging the Kalar raiders in a complex dance of energy weapons and evasive maneuvers. Samantha's tactical prediction proved correct. The Kalar committed to their flanking maneuver, only to find Vorlax weapons waiting for them. 3 Kalar vessels exploded in quick succession, their shields overwhelmed by concentrated fire. But the victory was short-lived. Commander. Chris's voice came through urgently. One of the Kalar vessels is broken off and is heading straight for the station. They're targeting the main docking bay. Samantha studied the tactical display. They're trying to board us. Corlin, we need to seal the docking bay immediately. Corlin hesitated. But there are still personnel in that section. Not for long, Samantha said, already moving toward the door. Rexy, with me. She sprinted through the corridors, Rexy matching her pace effortlessly. As they approached the docking bay, the distinctive sound of Kalar boarding pods could be heard impacting the station's hull. Rexy, search pattern Alpha, Samantha ordered. The Malinois immediately sprang into action, darting through the docking bay, his nose to the ground, searching for any remaining personnel. Samantha followed close behind, her sidearm drawn. Through the reinforced windows, she could see the Kalar boarding pods attached to the station's exterior. The airlock controls showed the pressure equalization process was nearly complete. Rexy, status, Samantha called. Rexy responded with a sharp bark and led her to a maintenance alcove, where 2 Vorlax technicians were frantically trying to repair a damaged console. Come on, Samantha shouted, helping the technicians to their feet. We need to get out of here now. As they reached the corridor, the docking bay airlock began to cycle open. Samantha activated her comm. Seal the bulkhead, now. The heavy security door slammed shut just as the Kalar boarding party burst through the airlock. The sound of energy weapons fire echoed through the sealed door. Back in the command center, Corlin met them with visible relief. You made it. We've sealed the docking bay section. The Kalar are trapped. Samantha shook her head. Not for long. They'll find a way through eventually. We need to eliminate the threat before they can sabotage the station. Corlin's skin flickered with concern. Our security teams are preparing to engage, but Kalar warriors are formidable in close quarters. Samantha looked down at Rexy, who was sitting attentively at her side. We have an advantage they don't expect. What do you mean? Kalar physiology, Samantha explained. They're reptilian, right? Cold-blooded? Corlin nodded. Yes. Why? Rexy was trained to track and apprehend Kalar during the Clear Dawn campaign. He knows how to exploit their weaknesses. Their sense of smell is terrible compared to his. In close quarters, he'll have the advantage. Corlin's eyes widened. You're suggesting we send your companion into combat against Kalar warriors? He's not just my companion, Samantha said firmly. He's a highly trained tactical asset. And right now, he's our best chance to neutralize the boarding party without casualties. After a moment's hesitation, Corlin nodded. Very well, but I'm coming with you. Samantha led the way back to the sealed bulkhead, Rexy moving with quiet confidence beside her. A Vorlax security team waited outside, their weapons ready. Here's the plan, Samantha explained. We'll open the bulkhead just enough for Rexy to slip through. He'll locate and neutralize the Kalar warriors. Once they're down, we move in to secure the area. The security chief, A Vorlax named Yorlak looked skeptical. Neutralize how? With what weapons? Samantha smiled. He doesn't need weapons. Watch and learn. She activated the bulkhead controls, opening a narrow gap just wide enough for Rexy to squeeze through. The Malinois slipped through silently, disappearing into the dimly lit docking bay. For several tense minutes there was only silence. Then came the sound of startled Kalar shouts, followed by yelps of pain. Samantha monitored the security cameras, watching as Rexy moved with incredible speed and precision, using the docking bay's infrastructure to his advantage. He'd dart in, deliver a precise bite to a vulnerable spot, then disappear before the Kalar could target him. Within minutes, all 6 Kalar warriors were down, incapacitated but alive, exactly as Rexy had been trained to do. As the security team moved in to secure the prisoners, Corlan stared at Samantha with newfound respect. Your companion. He's incredible. He's more than a companion, Samantha corrected. He's a partner, a valued member of our team. And he's just one example of how humans work with other species. Corlan's skin shifted to a thoughtful blue. Perhaps we've misunderstood your relationship with these creatures. The immediate threat dealt with, the Vorlax leadership requested an emergency session to discuss the implications of what they'd witnessed. In the diplomatic chamber, Corlan addressed the assembled Vorlax Council. Today, we witnessed something extraordinary. Commander Finch and her companion demonstrated a level of cooperation between species that we've never seen. While we consider predators too dangerous to work alongside, humans have turned them into valued partners. A council member named Vorel spoke up, her skin pattern shifting to one of skepticism. But isn't that dangerous? Allowing such creatures access to sensitive areas? Samantha shook her head. Now proper training and mutual respect are involved. Rexy isn't just following commands. He's making decisions based on his training and his understanding of the situation. He saved lives today because he could detect threats we couldn't. Corlan nodded. I propose we expand our cultural exchange program. Instead of just sharing technology and knowledge, we should learn from humanity's approach to interspecies cooperation. The council agreed, and plans were made for a series of exchanges. The first would involve bringing more examples of Earth's domesticated species to Nexus Outpost for the Vorlax to observe and study. 2 days later, a second Earth vessel arrived at Nexus Outpost. This one carried Dr. Helena Young, a xenobiologist, and several representatives of Earth's domesticated species. Commander Finch, Dr. Young greeted warmly as they met in the docking bay. I brought some friends to introduce to our new allies. Samantha smiled. Ambassador Corlan has been looking forward to meeting them. Dr. Young gestured to the cargo bay. This is Milo, a Sphinx cat. Despite his lack of fur, he's incredibly affectionate and has an amazing ability to sense human emotions. Milo, a hairless cat with large ears and expressive eyes, immediately approached Corlan, rubbing against his legs and purring loudly. Corlan looked down in amazement. He's touching me. Dr. Young laughed. Milo has an uncanny ability to sense when someone needs comfort. He's been known to sit with patients for hours, providing emotional support. Next, Dr. Young introduced a small horse named Sugar. This is a Falabella miniature horse. They're often used as service animals for people with disabilities. Sugar can guide her handler, retrieve items, and even call for help in emergencies. Sugar nuzzled Corlan's hand, her gentle nature immediately putting him at ease. But the most impressive, Dr. Young continued, is this. She gestured to a large bird with vibrant blue and yellow feathers. This is Sunny, a blue and gold macaw. He's been working with our research teams to develop interspecies communication protocols. Sunny tilted his head, studying Corlan with intelligent eyes. Hello, Ambassador, he said in perfect Vorlax tonal language. Corlan's skin flushed bright yellow with surprise. He speaks Vorlax? Sunny has learned several alien languages, Dr. Young explained. He's particularly good at picking up tonal languages. We believe his vocal capabilities could help bridge communication gaps between species. Over the next few days, The Vorlax were introduced to more Earth species. Goats trained to assist with agricultural work, rabbits used in therapeutic settings, even fish bred for specific environmental monitoring tasks. Corlin spent hours observing the interactions between humans and these species. It's not domination, he realized one day as he watched Samantha working with Rexy. It's partnership. You're not forcing them to obey, you're working with their natural abilities. Samantha nodded. Exactly. We've learned to understand their communication, their needs, their strengths. In return, they offer us their unique abilities and companionship. The cultural exchange took an unexpected turn when a third Earth vessel arrived, this one carrying representatives from Earth's Wildlife Preservation Initiative. Commander Finch, greeted the vessel's captain, Mark Anderson. We've brought some examples of Earth's wild species. We thought it might help the Vorlax understand the full scope of our planet's biodiversity. Samantha's eyes widened. You brought wild animals? Just a few non-threatening examples, Mark assured her. All contained and monitored. The Vorlax were understandably nervous as they gathered to view the presentation. Through a series of holographic displays, the Earth team showcased Earth's incredible diversity of life. This is a grizzly bear, Mark explained as a massive bear appeared in the hologram. While powerful, they're generally shy creatures that avoid human contact. They play a crucial role in maintaining healthy ecosystems. Corlin watched with fascination as the hologram showed the bear foraging for food, caring for its cubs, and interacting with its environment. And this, Mark continued, is a bottlenose dolphin. They're incredibly intelligent, with complex social structures and communication systems. Some researchers believe they may even have a form of language. The hologram shifted to show dolphins working together to herd fish, communicate with each other, and interact with humans in controlled environments. Corlin turned to Samantha. Your world is incredible. So much diversity, all coexisting. Samantha nodded. It hasn't always been easy. We've made mistakes, caused damage to our environment, but we've learned. We've developed ways to protect and preserve our planet's biodiversity while still advancing as a civilization. The presentation took an unexpected turn when the station's alarms suddenly blared. Commander Finch. Chris's voice came through urgently. We've detected a massive energy surge in the station's primary reactor. It's building toward a catastrophic failure. Samantha immediately sprang into action. What's the status? Engineering teams are working on it, but the radiation levels are already too high for Vorlax or human personnel to approach. Corlin's skin flushed deep red with concern. If the reactor breaches, it could destroy the entire station. Samantha's mind raced through options. Then she remembered something Mark had mentioned during the presentation. Mark, she ordered, get your team to the reactor chamber. Specifically, I need your honey badger. Mark hesitated. Are you sure? Honey badgers are incredibly tough, but the radiation levels? They have a natural resistance to radiation. Samantha interrupted. Remember what you told me about their DNA repair mechanisms? Realization dawned on Mark's face. Of course, their cellular structure allows them to withstand levels of radiation that would be lethal to most species. Within minutes, the Earth team had prepared the honey badger, a small but incredibly tough creature named Bandit. Equipped with a miniature camera and radiation sensors, Bandit was sent into the reactor chamber. Through the camera feed, they watched as Bandit navigated the high radiation environment with ease, locating the source of the problem, a damaged coolant line. Bandit, target. Mark ordered through the comm system. The honey badger immediately went to work, using his strong claws to clear debris, and his powerful jaws to secure a temporary patch on the coolant line. Within 20 minutes, the reactor's energy levels had stabilized, the immediate threat averted. Corlin stared at the screen in amazement. That small creature, he saved the station? Samantha nodded. Bandit was specifically chosen for this task because of his natural abilities. He's not just a wild animal, he's a valuable member of our team. The incident marked a turning point in Vorlax human relations. The Vorlax leadership formally requested to expand the cultural exchange program, expressing particular interest in learning more about humanity's approach to interspecies cooperation. During a formal ceremony a week later, Corlin presented Samantha with the Vorlax Star of Unity, their highest honor for diplomatic achievement. "Commander Finch," Corlin said, his voice resonating through the chamber, "today we recognize not just your personal achievements, but the incredible wisdom of your species' approach to life. While we saw predators where you saw partners, you saw potential where we saw danger. You have shown us a new way to understand the universe, one based not on domination, but on cooperation." As Corlin placed the ceremonial star on her uniform, Samantha felt Rexy press against her leg, offering silent support. She looked down at him, then back at Corlin. "This honor isn't just for me," she said. "It belongs to all of us, to every human, every animal, every being who believes that cooperation is stronger than conflict. Together, we can build a future where all species thrive." The ceremony concluded with a remarkable sight: a Vorlax child, overcoming initial hesitation, reaching out to pet Rexy. The Malinois responded with gentle patience, his tail wagging slowly as the child giggled with delight. Later, as Samantha prepared to return to Earth, Corlin met her at the docking bay. "Commander," he said, his skin displaying a warm golden pattern, "before you go, I have a request. Would you consider allowing Rexy to train some of our security personnel? We'd like to learn how to work with predators rather than just fear them." Samantha smiled. "I think Rexy would be honored." As her ship departed Nexus Outpost, Samantha looked out at the stars, Rexy sitting calmly at her side. Humanity had not just joined the galactic community, it had helped redefine what that community could be. Back on Earth, news of the successful first contact spread quickly. But more importantly, the story of how humans worked with other species to save Nexus Outpost inspired a new wave of interest in interspecies cooperation across the galaxy. Within months, several alien species had begun their own programs to develop partnerships with native predators. The Vorlax established a training program modeled after Earth's working dog initiatives. Other species followed suit, adapting the concept to their own unique ecosystems and needs. The most surprising development came from the Kalar themselves. After their failed raid on Nexus Outpost, they'd studied human tactics extensively. To everyone's astonishment, they began implementing similar approaches with their own native species, creatures previously considered too dangerous to work alongside. Samantha received a message from Corlin 6 months after their first contact. "The galaxy is changing, Commander. Thanks to your example, we're learning that strength isn't just about who can dominate whom, it's about who can work together most effectively." The Vorlax Collective officially recognizes Earth as a full member of the galactic community, not just as equals, but as teachers. As she read the message, Samantha scratched behind Rexy's ears, watching as he settled at her feet with a contented sigh. The journey had been long, but humanity had finally found its place among the stars, not through weapons or technology, but through the simple understanding that true strength comes from cooperation. The Harmony Protocol, as it came to be known, became the foundation for a new era of interspecies relations. It wasn't about domestication or control. It was about understanding, respect, and the recognition that every species had something valuable to contribute. Years later, when historians looked back on humanity's entry into the galactic community, they wouldn't remember the weapons or the technology that made first contact possible. They would remember the moment a human and her canine companion showed the galaxy that the strongest alliances weren't built on fear, but on trust.